primary head of EAL. Today's workshop for English as an Additional Language, or EAL, this is a workshop for parents of children who are in Britannica's EAL program, or parents of children who have recently left the EAL program. Okay? This morning's workshop is being recorded, just so you know, but they're recording us, not you, don't worry. And it will be available to watch after today, in case there's anything that you missed or you want to go back to. If you have any questions during the workshop, we kindly ask that you hold them till the end. There's a bit that we want to get through in the next 40-45 minutes or so, and we plan to have time for questions at the end. We'll try to answer as many as possible. Yes, please wait till the end. Okay, so what is the purpose of today's session? So firstly, we will emphasize the importance of developing the mother tongue, or your child's native language. This is, of course, really important for your child's native language skills, for their communication in their first language, but it's also really important for the development of their English language skills. So it's important in both ways. We will review the curriculum and what we do in school. So basically, we will tell you what we teach in the EAL program and how we teach it. And finally, we'll provide some resources and ideas for how to help at home. So what can be done outside of school to help your child's English language development? Okay, so I'd like to introduce the team. As I mentioned before, I'm Honorable Castro, the head of primary EAL. I also teach years 1, 2, 3, and 5.
Hello, my name is Joat Mona, and I teach years 3, 4, and 5.
Hi, my name is Camila Kellerman, and I teach year 4.
Yes, and I'm Katinga Udaki Sabo, and I teach year 1, 2, and 6.
Oh! Whoops!
And now you know it.
Yeah. Okay, so what does the EAL program at Britannica look like? So we, EAL teachers, work with children in EAL classes where we pull them out of their mainstream class. And we also work with children in their mainstream classes, and those are called push-in sessions. So in other words, we take children with EAL out of the mainstream lesson to provide separate English language lessons. And in push-ins, we enter their main classes and support all children, but with a focus on English language support. In years 1 through 4, the pull-out sessions occur at the same time as the mainstream English language lessons. So while the other children are doing their English literacy lessons, children with EAL come with us, and we focus on developing their English language skills. In years 5 and 6, it's a little different. The pull-out sessions occur during MFL, or Modern Foreign Languages, and during Hungarian lessons. So children in those years attend pull-out sessions with us, but they also attend their mainstream English lessons as well. Okay. Oh, pull-out sessions occur 4 times a week, and push-in sessions occur once a week. Yeah, so every mainstream class will see one of us in their classrooms once a week.
Right, so one of the most important factors when it comes to language learning is positive attitude. It will lead to easier language maintenance, and there will be a great results after all. A positive attitude is a powerful tool that fosters enthusiasm, promotes self-esteem, and creates an atmosphere conducive to learning. Another factor is personality, which has a large impact on learning a new language. Risk-taking and perseverance significantly influence the learner's degree of success in acquiring knowledge in a second language. Openness has a positive effect on foreign language learning, foreign language aptitude too.
Another great factor is motivation. Now, motivation can be external when it comes from an outside person, for example, from you or from the school, but it can be internal, and motivation comes from within your child, himself or herself. And we want this. This is very important. This is a great driver of any learning, but language learning too. So we try to make our lessons enjoyable to the children, and we work hard that the language learning process is fun for them. And you can do things at home to encourage internal motivation. For example, we encourage you to organize play dates with children who speak a different language than your child, and they can speak English during the play dates. And we recommend this rather than having English tutoring at home, because that's more school focused. So play dates are more fun, basically. Also, Haruko mentioned the mother tongue. It is very important to keep on talking on your native language at home, because it provides a solid base, a foundation for learning other languages. So, yes, as we mentioned before, these things grew together.
Okay, so now it's time to involve you a little bit. We want to hear your voices. So we brought some common beliefs about language learning. I'm going to read the first one, and if you have something to say about it, whether you agree or disagree, please feel free to add your thoughts. So, first one is, parents should only speak English at home so their child can acquire English much faster. What do you think?
Shall they talk in pairs? Yeah.
Okay, yes, turn to the person next to you and share your ideas, and maybe after that we can hear some of them.
Yes, and if you don't know each other yet, feel free to introduce yourselves.
Yes, definitely. If they ask you to practice English, of course you're not going to say, yeah, at home we only speak Spanish. But yeah, have times when you do focus on your mother tongue and make sure they have a good base.
So yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's me, sorry. Okay. Younger learners are more effective English language learners than older learners. Big share. Oh, wow. Very quick answer. Okay. So why do you think it's definitely?
I think the young children are just like sponges, and they just suck every knowledge and new skill into them. So the earlier they start, apart from, perfecting the mother tongue, as you mentioned, the earlier they start, the easier it is for them.
That's true. So, well, to be fair, it's a no, because, but what you said was correct. So young learners may develop better pronunciation, but older learners learn or have, oh my God, I don't speak English, so have a better understanding of grammatical structures. So, yeah. And language expectations are lower for younger learners as well.
Can I just jump in there? So yes, that sponge effect that you mentioned surely does happen with younger learners, especially with regarding pronunciation. But on the flip side, like Joel mentioned, the older learners have that grammatical base to work with. So in a different aspect of language acquisition, older learners are a bit stronger. So although it says no, like it's here, as you can see, that two-sided answer, it's a yes and no.
Okay, next one. Language learning is a developmental process that takes time. Students need input they can understand in all subject areas, not just in learning English. I can see a lot of nodding here. Does that mean we agree on a yes? Yeah, this time it was not a tricky question. Yes, so not everyone learns English at the same rate, at the same space. We come from different backgrounds, we have different abilities. So this is why we concentrate on differentiating as much as we can in every lesson, not just in English.
Okay. So next statement. Once students speak with reasonable fluency, they can pick up academic language quickly. Take a moment, talk to your partner, 30 seconds. What do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Okay, I'm curious. Who agrees with the statement? Raise your hand. The camera's not on you, it's okay. Who disagrees with the statement? Raise your hand. All right. It's a no. So, social language, also called basic interpersonal communication skills, is generally acquired within 2 years of immersion, whereas academic language, also called cognitive academic language proficiency skills, this takes a bit longer and takes 5 to 7 years to acquire. So they are distinct or somewhat related but distinct language skills that need development in their own ways.
Yes, okay, once again, a little bit of input about mother tongue. The level of development of children's mother tongue is a strong predictor of their second language development. Children who come to school with a solid foundation in their mother tongue develop stronger literacy abilities in their second language. So by literacy abilities we mean speaking, reading and listening. And this is just to emphasize once more that it's important to speak on your native language as well.
So at home, what can you do at home? So as mentioned earlier, focusing on building a strong foundation in your native language is the first step towards becoming proficient in English and improving literacy skills. And to have that, books suitable for their age, your child's age, available in both their native language and English will help them with pronunciation and comprehension as well.
Okay, so here we can see an example of how a child's language skills might develop over the course of a few years. Let's look at the first sentence. It's quite simple, right? He run to house. It's grammatically incorrect, right? That's not the right tense, no punctuation, but the meaning comes across, right? And at this stage, at any stage, we encourage the making of these mistakes because the more often a language learner makes these mistakes, the more likely they are to correct those mistakes. and then progress to the next level of language development. If we look at the second sentence, he quickly ran into the house. Some great corrections there, good verb tense, in addition of an adverb, fantastic. That progress would not have happened if mistakes hadn't happened in earlier stages of language learning. The last sentence, it's quite an advanced sentence for any student. He hurriedly ran into the welcoming arms of his anxious mother. Over the course of a language learner's journey, they can continue to develop even to these levels. Even in a single year, you can see your child's progress because their work in English lessons are done in workbooks, in exercise books. So at the end of the year, you can look at the first page and compare it to the second page and see the progress that they've made.
Okay, so phonics is how our children learn to read and write. It's how most children whose first language they learn to read and write in English is English, they will very likely use phonics. So we have different stages or phases. First, we start with letters that very commonly we can correlate to one sound that they make in a word. So we start with the easiest ones. You can see the orange cards, and then we move on to some digraphs. Two letters, when they are together, they make one sound. So over the months, we move on to those, and also at the bottom you can see some split digraphs when those two letters are in a word and they have a consonant in between. They also make a different sound. So phonics is taught in EAL lessons, but more specifically in year 1 to 3, all the children have a phonics lesson 4 times a week, right after lunch, and they are all mixed based on their abilities, how well they recognize their letters, how well they can read and write. They are, from year 1 to year 3, they are mixed into groups based on where they are at. And if they need additional support, then in EAL or in interventions, we provide it even for year 4, 5, 6 students, or in year 1, 2, 3 if they need extra help. And these are the cards that we are using, the read-writing curriculum. You can see that they all have one of these sounds, letters or letter combinations on them, and they usually have a silly sentence that they can easily remember, so it helps. If they already look at for example, this card says goat in a boat. Already, if I just show the other side, OA, they already, if they practiced, if they already know, oh, goat in a boat, and then they remember better the sounds.
Okay, so in our EAL program, we do not use a course book. We design lessons according to the needs of our students. These lessons, or this designing of lessons, is informed by what students are doing in their mainstream classes. So for example, if they're studying rainforests in their topic lessons in class, we might cover rainforest vocabulary in EAL. If they're studying the human body in science, we might cover body vocabulary in EAL. In addition to that, we also cover a range of general vocabulary and grammar topics that children with EAL might have gaps in their own language knowledge about. This is a list of the vocabulary and grammar topics. There's some grammar here that is found in the Cambridge Young Learners test. And this is a good guide as to what kinds of topics we might cover in EAL. And this is the list of topics that are covered in the Cambridge Key English Test. It's very similar to that list, just a bit more advanced. But this can give you an idea of the kinds of things we might cover in EAL lessons.
So, Britannica International School Budapest has been awarded the Bell Foundation accreditation for exceptional English as an additional language provision. Our department uses the Bell assessment framework, that looks like this, to track our students' progress. The framework focuses on 4 domains: speaking, listening, writing, and reading. There are 5 bands, A, B, C, D, and E, starting from new to English, band A, to going up to band E, which is fluent. There is a page for each skill, and the descriptors at the top of the page, as you can see, will show early development, and the descriptors going down or closer to the band A. We'll go to the next band, basically. These descriptors and your child's current progress will be included in their reports, providing parents with a comprehensive overview of their child's development.
Okay, let's move on to reading. Reading is such an important skill and a really valuable skill to practice at home. How can we support reading at home? Here are 3 steps that we encourage you to follow when doing reading at home with your child. They involve a pre-reading stage, so things you can do before you start reading, things to do during the reading of the book, and things you can do after reading the material that you're using. So rather than just jumping into the book that you're reading with your child, as excited as your child might be to get into it, we encourage you to follow these steps to get the most out of the time you have with this book.
Yeah, so I will be going into detail about pre-reading. So before you start actually reading the book, you can do other activities like picture walking, which means that you just go through the book and look at the pages, at the pictures, and talk to your child, like, what is on the picture? Do you know the name of this one? Do you know the name of that one? What are these been doing? And you can use your native languages words and English words and see what they already know. Also, this provides making connection, yes, with what your child already knows, and you can look at the text. Maybe she or he can identify common letters or sounds like the, or R.
So, during the reading, making reading enjoyable involves sharing the experience and responsibility. You can initiate by reading, and then your child can take turn over. Alternatively, they can join in during familiar parts and predicting what happens next. You can also pretend to make a mistake, which will allow your child to correct you. That also helps with the confidence and self-esteem. The prompting strategies are the following: reading along with fingers, what word would make sense here, what does the word starts with, and do you see a word inside a word? So using the compound or decoding compound words.
Okay, so if you have the time, it's great if you don't just close the book and move on with the day, but you do some more activities or at least some talking with your children that helps their language development even further. So here are some suggestions. You could come up with a new title together, or think of a different ending, or ask them what would they change in the story, or just even what they liked, what they didn't like. You can ask them to retell it, or talk more about the pictures in the book. Of course, if we don't want your at-home reading time look like school, but if they enjoy it, they could write sentences about the pictures, or they could just draw something, do coloring, or even a craft connected to the story. It really helps their remembering, and if after they finish their craft or their drawing, if you talk about it, you bring back some words that were in the story. It's great for developing language. And creating rhyming words, that's really not just about, not just for reading or after reading, but that's a good activity to do anytime. Some children told me they love to play rhyming words in the car when they are waiting for something. So just think of a few words that are maybe easy to find a rhyme for, even in your native language and in English, because if they know rhymes in their native language, that will of course help them find rhymes in English too. So you can play that anytime, or acting out a scene in the story. If you love drama, then children always enjoy that.
Okay, we gathered some helpful resources for home. We think that it's very important that you have a good English picture dictionary at home, because the children are learning a lot of new vocabulary, and the picture dictionary helps them to really get to know that vocabulary, and they just really get to remember them and use them in the future. For example, all of the children are writing spelling tests, you know that every week. They have maybe some words on them that your child doesn't know yet. And you could look it up in the dictionary, and it helps better with the spelling also, and helps them to remember. Also, we have a grade school library, and the children are taking home, I think they can two books each week. Yes, we think this is a great practice to promote reading as a fun and enjoyable activity. And also, we will share this presentation with you, and you can check out these following links, because maybe, children nowadays like to do things on the computer or on the internet. So if your child finds it more interesting, if it's on the iPad or on the laptop, maybe you could check out these websites. They have interesting stories, games, which are really for studying, but they won't notice and will enjoy.
So, as mentioned before, we discourage tutoring in English at home because they are immersed in English for 8 hours daily. So we emphasize the importance of using their mother language and mother tongue, and then of course making mistakes could help as well to build their self-esteem and confidence. Using technology, as Camila mentioned, could be also a great tool. There are various apps provided by the British Council, and after-school activities and arranging playdates could be a fun and enjoyable, yet interactive tool to use in order to speak English, because they are kind of forced to speak English when they are around with other children with different nations.
Okay, so to bring this to a close, here are some key points that we'd like you to take home. Firstly, if we haven't mentioned it enough, development of the mother tongue is essential. Again, not only for development of their native language skills, but also for their English language development. Reading at home with a parent will help develop vocabulary, grammar, and understanding, as well as reading ability. I would add to that speaking as well. So if you follow the different reading activities we suggested, that is a great opportunity for speaking practice around whatever reading material that you're using. So reading is awesome. It does all of that. So we really encourage you to do that. And finally, please interact with the school resources to continue learning at home. We especially encourage this during holidays because it is possible for language learners, if they don't use a language for a period of time, they can forget, they can lose some of the skills they've developed, and then when they return to school, yes, it can come back, but it does take a little time. So your child can save that time and continue progressing from where they left off before the break if language is maintained during the holidays. Okay. Are there any questions? Oh, I guess we got your everything done. Okay. If there are no questions, we'll be around if you want to come have a chat with us about anything. But I think all of us, or most of us, do teach in about 20 minutes. So we are here till then. Okay, thank you.
And you can also email us anytime.
Thank you for yes, our email addresses are on the school websites, so you can email us. Thank you so much for coming this morning.